Good day, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. And for today's lesson, we will discuss the lesson 4 in our core systems thinking. So for our lesson 4, we have complexity in today's decision making. If you can still remember in our past lessons, we discussed about the balancing feedback loops and reinforcing feedback loops, and we discussed different about delays and about the system itself. So ngayon, we will jump on this another topic, which is kung gaano ka-complex, kung gaano most of the time ka-complicated yung mga decision making that we will do, especially when we decide about the system that we will yung parang papairalin natin in our business and in a particular organization. So, first, let's discuss what complexity is. So, according to Ashby, noong 1973, he said that complexity is a quantity of information required to describe something. Okay, he said that complexity is the quantity of information. The more information, the more complex it is. This also includes the number of parts and their interrelations that make up that something, that whole. If you can remember our discussion about system, 'di ba? Meron tayong bigger system tapos meron tayong sub-subsystem. So 'yun. So it's the same with complexity. So 'yun. So kung merong whole kung merong, kumbaga parang kung merong malaking part or malaking system, it is consisted of different parts or different elements and different subsystem. So yun. So again, the more parts, the more yung mga subsystem, the more complex it is. So we can also say that complexity is in the eye of the beholder. Okay, why, ma'am? Kasi for example, sa atin, when we say heart, yung puso natin, sa mga ordinaryong tao, we can just say that we can describe heart as nagpapump ng blood, yung hugis ng puso, di ba? Pero sabi nga nila, hindi naman daw talaga iyon yung hugis ng puso, di ba? Pero kapag tinanong mo yung perspective ng isang doctor about the heart, they know how complex it is. They know kung gaano karami ang ugat niyan, ang dugo sa loob, ang mga kung ano-anong mga parts niyan. So yun. So ibig sabihin, the more information, 'di ba, the quantity of information that we have about something, the more complex we can see it. It's the same with other systems. For example, halimbawa yung mga advocate ng mga halimbawa sa environment, ganyan. So yun. So mas marami silang alam regarding sa kung ano yung mga mas okay para sa environment tsaka sa hindi. Samantalang tayo, 'di ba, alam lang natin kapag plastic hindi okay para sa environment. So yun. So the more information, the more quantity of information you have for something, the more complex you will see it. So, ayan, in complexity or in our decision making, we have ito palagi naman na nating nadi-discuss or na-encounter, which is the difference of efficiency and effectiveness. So in efficiency, sabi dito, it looks at how well resources are used in a given activity. So when we say this system is efficient, ibig sabihin nagagamit ng maayos yung resources ng isang company para ma-achieve yung isang goal. Okay? Or nagagamit ng maayos yung resources ng company, nakakatipid or nasusulit yung time na nako-consume or pera na nako-consume ng company. Whereas, ayan, sabi nga dito sa inefficiency, the higher the level of output achieved for a given set of inputs or resources. For example, sa isang, halimbawa, nasa baking industry ka. So, sa isang sako ng flour, ang napoproduce usually is 10 cakes. Pero, dahil you did it efficiently or may system ka na or yung machine mo is efficient, ang nagawa mo is 12 o kaya 15 cakes. So yun, so ibig sabihin na you used the resources efficiently. Or alternatively, the lower the inputs or resources needed for producing a given level of output. For example naman, yung one sack of flour is nagagawa talaga usually is um, 10 cakes. Ngayon, ang nagawa mo is 3/4 lang yung nagamit mo pero nakapag-produce ka na ng 10. Ayan. So, that is efficient also. So, ang tawag doon, there is higher technical efficiency in that given activity at sa system na ginawa mo. For example naman, nag-drive ka ng kotse, tapos meron kang 1 liter na gasoline. So, I don't have any idea about it. For example lang, ah, for example, ang normal na naabot ng 1 liter gasoline is from Bulacan to halimbawa Manila. So yun, tapos ngayon ang naging kumbaga fuel efficient yung sasakyan mo. So from Bulacan nakaabot ka pa ng Cavite, nakaabot ka pa ng Laguna, 'di ba? So yun, so ibig sabihin there is higher technical efficiency in that given activity. Or kaya, pumunta ka sa Baguio at napagkasya mo yung 1 liter na gasoline. Ayan. So, ang tawag doon, there's a higher technical efficiency. For example naman, you're going to compare if magkokotse ka or mag-commute ka. Okay? For example, kapag kinompute mo yung gas na magagamit mo from Bulacan to Manila is for example, 100 pesos lang, for example lang. Tapos, kapag nag-commute ka naman is 200 pesos naman yung magagastos mo sa pamasahe. So, parang ang maisip na ngayon is mas efficient na ngayon ang magkotse, 'di ba? Kasi mas makakatipid ka. So, yun. Pero kung halimbawa, grabe-grabe yung traffic, tapos dahil sa traffic na yun, nakaubos ka ng 500 pesos na gasoline, 'di ba? Di, mas okay na lang mag-commute ka na lang. So, yun. So, that is how you're going to decide about that. Especially kung kumbaga ang pag-uusapan na is activities in a business. Next is, how about effectiveness? Effectiveness is kung efficiency is you will use the resources wisely. Si effectiveness naman is looks at how well the goals or objectives of the entity or activity are achieved. Kapag meron kayo isang ginawa na particular, halimbawa project, tapos na-achieve yung gusto nyong mangyari, yung objective ng isang particular activity na yon, ibig sabihin, effective yung system na ginamit nyo doon. You can also use effectiveness or ang measurement na effectiveness through your as your key success indicators. Ibig sabihin, ma'am, ano po 'yon? Ibig sabihin, kapag ka nag-set ka ng particular goal, yung mga key success indicator, parang palatandaan na nag-succeed ang project na ito, ang activity na ito, for example, sa BA org, kapag na-achieve nyo yon, ibig sabihin, successful. Yung nag-i-indicate yun na success yung system na ginawa ninyo or effective ang strategy na in-implement nyo. So, yan. So, that's efficiency and effectiveness. Most of the time tayo, akala natin, di ba, minsan may sinasabi natin na, oh, efficient ka nga, hindi ka naman effective. O kaya effective ka nga, hindi ka naman efficient. Parang, we think na yung efficiency and effectiveness are enemies. Pero actually, efficiency and effectiveness, efficiency is not the enemy of effectiveness. They complement each other. So, efficiency is doing things right and effectiveness is doing the right thing. So, through efficiency, so gusto mo ma-utilize ng maayos yung resources ng isang organization, yung totoong efficiency, it looks at the overall goals of the organization. So, dapat, yung goal na yun, gamit mo nga yung resources efficiently para ma-achieve yung goal na yun. Or, ma-achieve mo yung goal na yon at a lower cost. Ayan, pagiging efficient din yon. Fewer resources, pero with increased benefits. So imagine that, kapag na sa isang company, hindi lang siya, dapat maging efficient tayo, dapat maging effective tayo, dapat it goes hand in hand. Dapat maging efficient and at the same time maging effective. Kasi imagine, na-utilize mo nga ng maayos yung resources mo, pero hindi mo naman na-achieve yung goal mo, 'di ba? So wala din. O kaya naman, na-achieve mo nga yung goal ng company, pero sobrang mahal naman ang na-take nyo or ang daming nasayang na resources. Bali, wala din. So yun, so they must complement each other. This is very true, especially if you are nandun ka sa decision making na sa isang management. in line with efficiency and effectiveness in and the complexity in decision making, you also have to remind yourself na if you're going to plan or if you're going to decide for something or for the benefit of the business, every decision for this aspect of a business will cause an outcome for or an effect. Meron din siyang effect dun sa iba pang aspect ng negosyo. For example, if you decided for, halimbawa, may dinesisyonan ang HR department, meron niyang desired outcome to finance department, marketing, sales, and operations. So, yun. So, ano siya, kumbaga, domino effect siya. You must be prepared for planned and unplanned outcomes also. Meron kasing mga alam mo yun, yung hindi na kahit na pinag-aralan niyo ng mabuti yung isang desisyon at isang system na i-implement niyo, meron pa ring unplanned outcomes na nangyayari. So, yung planned and unplanned outcomes has desirable and undesirable outcomes also. Yung mga desirable, syempre, yung alam mo yung kahit hindi mo pinlano, pero maganda yung naging effect. In the same way, meron din namang mga hindi pinlano, pero merong hindi maganda yung effect para sa company. So, yun. So, now, let's discuss yung unplanned again is the hindi pinlano. So, hindi, most of the time, hindi nyo rin desire itong particular outcome na ito. And there is also counterintuitive outcome. So, ano naman, ma'am, yung counterintuitive outcomes? From the word counterintuitive, um, what happens appears at first glance to contradict what common sense and intuition tell us should occur. Kapag tiningnan mo ito, parang pag tiningnan mo at first observation mo or at first glance mo, parang hindi ito yung normal na dapat gawin in a business. Parang it contradicts our intuition and even our common sense. Ang counterintuitive could be planned or unplanned. This is one of the best example ng counterintuitive. For example, ang general principle kasi sa mga, halimbawa kung factory kayo or basta may products kayo na ino-offer sa business, kapag ka mataas yung highest profit margin, ma'am, ano yun? Let's review. Ang highest profit margin, malaki yung tubo. Malaki yung tinutubo nyo into this particular product. Mas i-push nyo yon, mas iyon yung i-produce at ibenta. Kasi syempre malaki yung tubo niyan. So for example, um uh that's our intuition, okay? But how about let's do it in a counterintuitive way? Parang i-solve natin or let's achieve the goal. Let's be efficient and effective in a counterintuitive way. So for example, this is the product A and the product B. So ang raw material cost nila, si product A 50 pounds per unit, si product B naman 70 pounds. Tapos so mas mataas or mas mataas si product B, mas mataas yung gastos mo. Si product A, ginagawa siya 2 hours per unit. Si product B, 1 hour per unit. Ang production capacity nyo everyday is 8 hours. Ang bayad nyo per hour sa inyong, kung ano ba sa operating cost nyo is 20 pounds per hour. Ngayon, ang total cost nyo na is 90 pounds per unit. Parehas. Why? Kasi ito 2 hours times sa 8 hours. So, per unit, mag-a-add ka dahil 2 hours siya 40. So, 90 pounds per unit. Eto naman 70 dahil 1 hour per unit lang plus 20 equals 90. Alright? So, ang selling price, 180 per unit si product A, 150 per unit si product B. Imagine, di ba? So, ang kita natin for the product A is 90 pounds. Ang kita natin sa product B ay 60 pounds. Alright? 180 minus 90, 150 minus 90. So, ayan. So, if you're going to look at it, si product A yung malaki yung binabalik sa company or malaki yung kinikita, 'di ba? So, syempre tayo as a firm, magpo-produce tayo ng maraming product A at magbebenta tayo ng maraming product A kasi malaki yung binebenta nito or malaki yung kita nito. So, ito yung sa common sense natin, 'di ba? So, product A Dahil 8 hours lang yung production natin. So what we will do is, halimbawa na lang, 3 units per day yung gagawin natin. Dahil 2 hours ang gawa kada unit, 6 hours ang makukonsume natin. Tapos sa product B, dahil 2 hours na lang yung natitira, 2 units per day yung gagawin natin kay product B. So if i-compute natin ang daily profit natin, si product A, 3 units times 90 pounds, ang kita natin kay product A. So, 270 yan plus 2 times 60 pounds kasi 60 pounds ang kita natin each product, 120. Ang result is 390 pounds yung kita natin. Okay? So, this is ito yung normal. Ito yung ginagawa ng mga businesses. Ito yung sa intuition natin. Okay? How about the counterintuitive? Why not product B yung damihan natin. O, 'di ba? Parang, uy, bakit? 60 lang yun. Tapos, ang product A, 90. Bakit hindi dadamihan yung product A? For example, ganun yung ginawa natin. So, si product A, dalawa lang ang ginawa natin per day, magko-consume tayo ng 4 hours. Si product B, dahil may natirang 4 hours, sa 4 hours, 1 hour per unit, 4 per day yung magagawa natin. Okay? So, imagine dito, 6 units yung magagawa natin. Dito, 5. Okay? So, yun. So, pero again, mas konti yung product na mataas yung balik sa company. So, if you're going to compute about it, 2 units ng product A times 90, so 180, plus 4 times $60, 240. The answer is 420. So imagine, sa intuition natin, 390 pounds lang, dito 420 pounds. Merong difference sa 30 pounds. Okay, so imagine that this is one of an example to solve in solving problems in a counterintuitive way. Yung hindi normal na ginagawa, hindi it goes beyond the some business principles. So yun. So bakit ganun, ma'am? Kasi every hour ng capacity na ginagawa nako-consume ng product B, meron kang profit na 60. Kasi kada isang unit $60. Pero ang isang unit 2 hours kay product A, so yung 90 niya i-divide mo sa dalawa kasi 2 hours. So per hour niya, mas malaki pa rin talaga ang kita ng product B. Kaya, ayan, mas malaki yung kita kapag nandun ka sa counterintuitive way of solving the problem. So this is one example, again, ng pag-solve ng isang system problem in a counterintuitive way. Next is, ayan, so we discussed about the planned, unplanned outcomes, desirable, undesirable, and even the counterintuitive outcomes. Let's also discuss the reductionist and cause and effect thinking. So ano naman to, ma'am? So reductionism, it is the belief that everything in the world and every experience of it can be reduced. So para siyang isang malaking pie, tapos pwede mo siyang hati-hatiin. So everything daw sa mundo natin ganun. Pwede mo siyang i-reduce, i-decompose, or disassembled into ultimately simple, indivisible parts. Okay? So when you look at the behavior of each part, so 'di ba halimbawa isang part ito, halimbawa electric fan, pag tanggal-tanggalin mo yung parts niya, ganun siya. So yun, so ganun yung paniniwala ng mga reductionist. And in decision making, minsan we have to we have to use reductionism or be reductionist kasi alam mo yun, minsan sobrang overwhelmed ka in a particular system problem. Pero pwede mo naman pala siyang i-divide into different parts. Pag himay-himayin mo pala ito, tapos isolve mo isa-isa yung bawat problema na yon. So yun. So breaking a problem into a set of simpler some problems, solving each individually, ito yung sinasabi ko kanila, and then assembling their solutions into an overall solution for the whole problem. Hindi mo alam, pag hinimay-himay mo pala yung problem na yon, at sinolve mo ito, it can provide a solution to the bigger problem. So yun, so that's reductionism. So, for example, di ba sa isang org structure, halimbawa sa isang organization, so the organization itself is a big system. Pero kapagka nagkaroon ka ng division of labor per department, so halimbawa yung HR, ito lang yung gagawin niya, ito namang finance, ito lang yung gagawin niya, ito namang kabila, ito lang yung gagawin nila. So yun, meron silang particular na mga individual works. Kapag nagkaroon ng problema sa isa, they can provide individual solutions for that, 'di ba? Na can affect the whole organization. So, yung sa finance, pwede silang gumawa ng project nila that can benefit all of you sa organization. So, yun. So, that's reductionism. That is reductionism theory. So, aside sa reductionism, we also have cause and effect. Ano naman yung cause and effect, ma'am? So, it is related with the reductionism. So, kung himay-himayin mo bawat parts, sa cause and effect naman, you have to understand that A or particular part is the cause of why B happened. Cause and effect. So, A is the cause, B is the effect. Therefore, kailangan mong maintindihan si A or yung cause para maintindihan mo yung effect. So yun. So it also means that everything can be explained in yun, dividing different or subdividing the parts into smaller ones, tapos tingnan mo yung cause and effect relationship ng bawat isa. There you can decide um kung ano yung solution na ipoprovide mo into this particular system problem. So, when we check the cause and effect at pinaghimay-himay ang parts, it can emerge new relationship. So, this is emergent relationship. So, new relationship or properties may emerge through the interaction between the various parts or aspects of a given situation. And in the mutual causality naman, you have to understand that there are two factors that are interdependent. Or, ayan, again, may cause and effect ng bawat isa. Dealing with one alone while ignoring the other may not achieve the desired results. For example, in a system problem, for example, tayo, economy natin, or yung tayo, Philippines, um, ang laking problema natin ng poverty talaga. Lahat ng umupo sa eleksyon, 'di ba? They always want to provide solution for poverty. Pero ang daming iniisip nila na parang sinasabi lang 'yan kasi eleksyon, 'di ba? Tapos hindi naman nila nagagawa. Pero if we're going to think about it, sabi ko nga 'di ba, ang system problem hindi siya problema na ng mga kung sino yung nakaupo. Okay, ang system problem is the problem of the system itself. If we will not, if we, hindi natin himay-himayin kung ano bang nagiging cause at nagiging effect ng poverty, for example, um, uh, pwedeng yung poverty, makapag-cause siya ng poor health dahil nga mahirap tayo, hindi tayo makakapunta ng hospital, hindi tayo makapagpa-check up. Or yung poor health, dahil may poor health ka, hindi ka na makakapagtrabaho. And therefore, magsasuffer ka sa poverty, di ba? So yun, so there's mutual causality in that. Ngayon, kung you want to solve poverty, pero hindi mo isa-solve yung poor health, you will not achieve the desired results. So that's mutual causality. Dapat alam mo na parehas silang cause at effect ng bawat isa. So you have to deal with both of them simultaneously. It's the same with every system problem that we have. Kaya nga sinasabi ko, ever since sa lesson 1 pa, if you want to achieve something, if you want to solve a particular system problem, we must, again, reductionist, so himay-himayin mo yan, kasi again, hindi yan nangyari lang dahil naupo si ganito. Hindi yan ganon. So, nangyari yan, nag-accumulate yan several decades ago. Imagine mo, several decades ago pa nag-accumulate, tapos you want it to be solved in a year, or 2 years, or 3 years, hindi siya kaya na ganon. So, what will happen is, you have to divide it. Tingnan mo yung mga mas maliliit na problema, isolve yung maliliit na problema. Therefore, kapag na-solve yung mga maliliit na problema under nitong malaking system problem na ito, you can provide solution to the bigger system problem. So, yun. So that's mutual causality. And that is also applicable in every businesses. Kapag as halimbawa, ikaw yung financial manager or naging owner ka ng sarili mong negosyo, um, kapag masyado ka na-overwhelm sa laki ng problema, why not divide it into different sub-problems na mas simple at mas kayang gawa ng paraan. So, yun. So, para ma-solve mo yung particular problem or yung bigger problem na sobrang na-overwhelmed ka. So, yun. So, that is our lesson for Ayan, that is our lesson for complexity of today's decision making. So, to supplement this lesson, I will provide different case studies on the link on the description, and then try to practice your reductionist thinking. Try to think uh, of intuitive and counterintuitive outcomes in every decision or every solution na ipaprovide mo for each system problem. So, thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned a lot. And kung natuto kayo, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video on your friends and classmates. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again on our next video lessons. God bless!